Welcome again to another episode of TECHOVER, the show that discusses all things technology on NTV. My name is Brian Jadetieno, NTV's in-house techie. Today, we'll be talking about social media breaks and social media detoxing. Is it something that you actually do? Is it something you should consider doing? And how do you go about your life on social media in this age and time when everything we do is out there in the public? That and so much more in the main part of the discussion. But first off, as always, the tech news of the week. A widespread Microsoft outage disrupted flights, banks, media outlets, and companies around the world on Friday. More than 300 flights were delayed and more than 100 flights were cancelled on Friday at the major airports in New York City area, JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark Liberty in New Jersey, according to an airline tracker, FlightAware. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike said that the issue believed to be behind the outage was not a security incident or a cyber attack. The firm said Friday's global disruptions occurred when it deployed a faulty update to computers running Microsoft Windows. The issue was not a security incident or a cyber attack, and a fix was on the way, it said. Escalating disruptions continued hours after the technology company said it was gradually fixing the issue affecting access to Microsoft 365 apps and services. The website Down Detector, which tracks user-reported internet outages, recorded growing outages in services at Visa, ADT Security, and Amazon, and airlines including America Airlines and Delta. News outlets in Australia reported that airlines, telecommunications providers, and banks and media broadcasters were disrupted as they lost access to computer systems. Airlines in the UK, Europe, and India reported problems, and some New Zealand banks said they were offline. Microsoft 365 posted on X that the company was working on rerouting the impacted traffic to alternate systems to alleviate impact in a more expedite fashion, and they were observing a positive trend in service availability. The company did not respond to a request for a comment. It did not explain the cause for the outage further. New Zealand's acting Prime Minister Dorsey Moore said on X that officials in the country were moving at a pace to understand the potential impacts of the global problem. Hospitals and doctors' offices had problems with their appointment systems, while banks in South Africa and New Zealand reported outages to their payment systems and websites and apps. Hospitals, for example, struggled to sort out appointments, and those who needed care did not get it. And that's our tech news this week. Time now for that discussion on social media breaks and how you can effectively use your time out of social media and be productive. And I'm joined by Eunice Washera. For someone hearing this for the very first time, how would you describe social media detoxing?
I think I'd describe social media detoxing as taking a break from a lot of the noise and chaos that can happen online, because nowadays the digital space is actually like our reality. We carry our realities on our phones from time to time. So it's taking a break from all of that and just coming back to reality, coming back to yourself, and spending time with everything else around you that isn't digital.
Why do people take social media breaks?
It depends with people, but I think so far with the people I've seen and with myself, I'd say taking social media breaks and doing the detox is mostly to re-strategize, reanalyze, and do a lot of introspection and take some steps forward, and also maybe to help yourself with some mental health progression. For me, mostly it's been for mental health, to take care of myself, because sometimes, especially platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter, were very intense. So taking breaks from such spaces to just come back from all that noise, all that chaos, helps to reroute myself.
Great. What's your personal experience with social media breaks?
And I think the first time I took a social media break was back in 2019, because that's when I was now starting to get active on social media, and it was very boring and confusing, because back then I didn't know if it had a name or not. So I was just there, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, so I've uninstalled the app, what next? Because that's where I talk to all my friends, that's where I get to know where the events are, what is happening. But I think slowly I got to connect with my hobbies, my talents, and just do what I loved outside of digital media. Even right now I'm on a break. I think I'll be back by next month or later on.
After that, did you have like a regular timeline within which you say, within this time, I'm going to take a social media break? And how regular were you at it?
For me, it's more spontaneous. It depends with the intensity and how present I have been on the platform. So like this year, I think I've been going through so much online and doing a lot and seeing a lot as well and consuming too much. So I was like, I really need a break to just dial everything down and come back to myself, because there are things I also want to do, but because I'm seeing someone else doing, you start with the comparison thing and it gets confusing and irritating. So that's just part of it.
As a journalist, I do take social media breaks. And sometimes people come to my timeline and ask me, where are you? We're not getting news and such kind of things. This is one group of the people. Then there are content moderators, social media managers, and agencies. How can they also effectively take these breaks? Are they even allowed to take breaks?
Not really. I'd say it's a gray line, but everyone ought to take a break. If we're to speak on a general basis, everyone should take a break. But now it comes to a place where I understand where you mentioned the journalists, the digital marketers, and all these people the content moderators online. These are very vital people on the digital platforms. So for those people, I think it is just strategizing even those breaks. Like if you know you're taking a break, like me, as a marketing executive, daily I have to be on social media. Daily I have to be checking up on what is happening online, replying to our customers and getting feedback from there. But when I need the break, I talk to my supervisor, and there's someone who will always take up whatever I've been doing and hold the fort down for me when I'm on my break. Then when I'm back, pick up from where I left. So there's that, just strategizing around that. So I can't say necessarily there are people who are shut off from taking breaks. It's just strategizing around it.
With life as it is today, do you foresee a time when perhaps we'll not be able to be posting or putting our life out there? Because some people literally depend on social media to survive. Yeah. Do you see a time when we will not be putting our lives out there?
Yes. I think the way I started saying that our lives are so digitized today, like we carry our realities on our phones. That's why we need to disconnect from them, because there is that seeming pressure that's there. From time to time, we feel like I really have to show what is going on in my life. I really have to show who is doing what. And, there's I call it noise. There's so much noise and pressure right there. So we have to disconnect from it. We really don't have to. Sometimes I usually sit down and I'm like, at the end of the day, actually, no one really cares. No one really cares like that. It's just a mini investment by people because everyone is spending time online. That's why everyone is doing 1, 2, 3 things, following 1, 2, 3 people. But at the end of the day, you're your own individual, so you need that space.
Let's now talk about practical solutions. What do people do when they are on social media breaks?
If I can borrow from my own life lessons and experience so far, go hiking, go swimming, cook some food, go. If you're staying alone, you're bachelorette like some of us, go visit your family, go home to your grandparents, kamua ng'ombe, like do mundane things that you had forgotten at some point. Color something, talk to your small sister, visit the children's home, do some charity work there. There's so much to do. There are read a novel, read a book, there is so much.
We're also dealing with the problem of phone addiction currently. Do screen timers and such settings help to create that culture of discipline when people are online?
Yes, they do. I also have it. For myself, I do have the data limit, the limit of the amount of data I'm supposed to use in a day. It's still a lot, but I'm trying. Nimetoka mbali. And there's also the screen time limit for the particular social media apps that I was using. And that really has helped me, because I usually see that for me it comes as a notification on my phone. You've spent this and this many hours. The app is going to be frozen. So I'm like, okay, now what do? Let's go cook some food. Yeah. Let's go shopping. Let's go do something. So for me, it's really helpful. And I really appreciate the various phone companies that have taken up the initiative to have these systems installed in phones that nowadays they come with it. You don't have to look for an app to download to have that. Yeah.
Is there an age limit to the people who can take social media break?
No, I think it's open to everyone. Our parents should actually know that. Our parents who love Facebook so much. It is open to everyone. Everyone needs that break. Everyone needs to disconnect from that digital reality for a moment and connect with the reality on the ground. Like right now, you see, as we are having these protests that are happening to reject the finance bill for 2024, it is very good. It's a good thing. We are seeing the power of digital, whatever is happening on social media, which is so good. But now, even outside that, coming to the ground and seeing what is happening is even more surreal than seeing it on the phone. So that's just an example of connecting with what is happening on the ground. Yeah.
Finally, there are people who take partial breaks. They say, I'm uninstalling TikTok and leaving out YouTube for whatever purposes. Do those ones also help?
Yeah, it does help. It can help. Yeah, I think if you know what you want and whatever aim you have or goal you have with this particular break that you're taking, the detox that you want to have, it's okay. But learn to contain it. Where I've disabled TikTok, but everything else is running and you're still doing the same consumption through the other apps, you're doing nothing then. So if it's majorly, maybe your work is on WhatsApp, maybe let everything else go. Something like that.
Thank you so much, Eunice, for speaking to us about this social media break.
You're most welcome.
Really appreciate. And that's been the discussion on social media breaks here on Takeover. We now want to take a short break also, go pay some bills, and then we'll be back with Startup of the Week in the second part of the show. Don't go too far. Welcome back. You're watching Takeover, the show that discusses all things technology. Time now to know our founder this week. And here then is your segment of Startup of the Week. As of 2022, the insurance penetration rate in Kenya increased to 2.29%, up from 2.25% in the preceding year. Overall, it has followed a descending trend since 2016. The rate shows how developed the insurance sector is in a specific country related to the total amount of insurance premiums to the gross domestic product. The average global insurance penetration amounted to 6.7% in 2022. However, even with the growth that is considerably high, industry experts say there's still a lot to be achieved to get to other global benchmarks. This phenomenon is attributable to an inadequate and fragmented information about insurance and underwriters ignoring the micro and small market that equally requires insurance services and solutions.
In terms of products, in terms of distribution model, and in terms of pricing, I think this is where we are missing the game. And that is the reason in Star Discover, we created a separate vehicle for microinsurance, which is very much specifically aimed towards social innovation and design products which aims at lower income levels. So here we are trying to see that how do we penetrate into that particular market, because and then once we are able to enforce right risk management solutions, then we can directly contribute to poverty alleviation, income growth, and the products which people can consume. If you see the data from IRA, most of the distribution or most of the insurance is actually centered around Nairobi in terms of consumption. So now once for insurance companies, if you do not have a separate focus, you are not able to do it. So, and that is the exact reason we have actually created a separate company called Star Discover Microinsurance, whose specific job is to go and penetrate in.
Together with the solutions modeling and distribution bit, internal systems management of clients can equally be a challenge, as identified by Star Discover Insurance CEO Sandeep Paduri in his lengthy career as an insurer across Africa.
Typically, what I have experienced, and you'll talk with any CEOs, they are very much frustrated about not being able to align the entire thing. So you will end up finding a patchwork of IT systems and manual processes, and they're working together. Okay, so now in a startup company, we had this advantage because we didn't have any legacy issues to face with. So this is where we are actually implementing, almost in a very advanced stage of implementing our systems, the network enterprise network which we are creating takes into consideration this misalignment, so that we have a perfect alignment in our systems. So it starts with how the technology stack is being created. It starts with how the customer is being onboarded, how the data flows between multiple systems. Now, this is where we are borrowing ideas from enterprise connectedness and integrated operation. So if you look at how do you achieve enterprise connectedness, you have to look at things at 3 different dimensions. Now, how vertically integrated the company is in terms of flow of data, so that when a CEO, group CEO, or a head of division takes a decision, he can clearly monitor how it is trickling down to the base level, and similarly, and observe its impact, and similarly, how the information from the base level is coming up to the highest level.
As a key solution to the challenge of data management, TECHOVER is now pursuing artificial intelligence solutions to model its InsurTech solution and make the most necessary differentiation in a competitive insurance sector.
Take, for example, health insurance. If I am able to connect with all my providers and access to the multiple sources of data, now the question comes in that what do you do with the huge amount of data, right? And that is where the question of artificial intelligence comes in. So what we expect in artificial intelligence is that it is humanly, it is not always possible to examine a huge amount of data, right? What artificial intelligence does, it basically gives the machines capability to mimic the human cognitive functions. So like reasoning, analyzing the data, the perception of the data, and give you meaningful results. That's the whole idea of artificial intelligence. Now, how the whole thing is integrated and how do you play around with this and then take decisions in terms of your pricing, risk management, and claims. So that's basically the centrality of tech in an insurance business.
His recommendation for micro insurance underwriters is significant reduction of the cost of distribution of the solutions. Likewise, in light of the natural calamities like the recently witnessed floods and civil action that have put many businesses, small and medium enterprises at risk, Sandeep calls on insurers to have the right information disseminated to target markets and clients for proper decision making.
In terms of customer education, I think as an industry we have failed a little bit in terms of how to engage with the client and then advise what is the right cover to cover, if I may use the word, civil disturbances. When you take a normal fire policy, typically political violence is not covered there and very few people know about it. Okay, and then there is a very thin line between malicious damage and damage due to civil disturbances or any kind of accusation which is in political in nature. So it is always advised that you extend your fire policy to cover political violence and loss of profits associated with that particular peril. So basically there are solutions in the market which we provide and the rest of the industry also provides, which specifically covers damage due to political violence and any kind of loss of profit subsequent to the political after the main damage has happened. So that is something now which the client needs to be educated. And then how do you what is the right way of declaration of the stocks?
Looking ahead to new opportunities, the world is fast shifting towards electromobility, and electric car insurance solutions remain a foreign concept. Likewise, there will be 1 trillion connected devices by 2030 globally. We asked him if he sees an opportunity in providing indemnity for this.
Insuring mobile phone and individual mobile phone on its own is a very risky proposition. Now, if you have enough analytics with you, then the taboo areas which insurers typically do not want to go, then you can find a way out and you can find microscopic blue ocean areas where you can get into. Now, to have a much more direct answer to you, Are these kind of things insurable? Yes, definitely it is insurable. Not only the loss of mobile phone, but we are working on solutions which will allow you to have extended warranties as well, wherein you can extend the warranty beyond the manufacturer's warranty. So now the tech platforms which we are actually implementing and what we have in mind actually allow us now to venture into B2B2C segments, wherein you are able to take care of the entire value chain using platform-based services and automate the entire process. What if I'm able to provide you is that your suppose mobile phone is insured with Star, and tomorrow if it is lost, you just need to go to the authorized center and get it replaced. You don't have to pay anything from your pocket other than the excess which is associated with it. So now the implementing this kind of a seamless program actually requires a lot of tech enablement. Yeah. And that is where AI also comes in terms of augmenting your capabilities in helping you to deliver those services. And definitely, as I would not divulge, but we are definitely working towards this kind of enablements. Okay. And B2B2C is a segment which is one of our strategic focus areas.
And that's our startup of the week. There you have it. Time now for Tech Tip of the Week, and then we'll just close the show at that point.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Tech Tip of the Week. Today we shall be discussing how you can improve your security online. The first one is regarding passwords. You should not create passwords which are easy to guess. Consider creating complex passwords which are not easy to guess, and you can do this by the help of password managers. There are so many password managers out there. A good example is the Google Password Manager, which you can just find within Google Chrome. These will create good passwords for you and also store them for you. The other tip is ensuring that you have two-step verification on all your social media accounts. Having this enabled will reduce the risk of your accounts being hacked, as once you try to log in and put in your password, it will always require another type of verification, such as sending a code to your phone or an email. And the last tip is avoiding connecting to public Wi-Fis. And in fact, do not access sensitive information when you're connected to public Wi-Fis. For example, do not access banking apps or any other sensitive information. If you really need to connect to public Wi-Fis, consider connecting to a VPN first, as this will keep you secure. I hope you learned something new. That's it for this week, and see you in the next one.
There you go. We're always keeping your head with tech savvy DIYs so that you can stay ahead and become as tech savvy as much as possible, because we need tech to live forever. And that's where we leave it at on NTV TECHOVER this week. Thank you so much for your company. Next week, we do this again, same place, same time. May tech live forever. See you on the next one.